God, I fucking hated that movie.
You hate that movie? I believe.
No, I love it. It's definitely a character-driven movie.
Oh, very much, very much.
It's supposed to be, I guess horror is what its genre, but it's not even horror at all, I would say.
No,
It's like, I
it would
guess
be horror, right?
they die in gruesome ways, but that's like this, because any other movie with this concept and like traps it would just be all about the kills. That would be all it's about.
Damn, that sounds like a shot at Saw.
It is. It actually is. It's literally Saw. It's like a smarter Saw.
Yeah, it is.
It's all about the characters. It's barely about the deaths, although the death scenes are cool.
Yeah,
At least
the
the first
right.
one. Yeah, the guy gets acid sprayed in his face. His whole face melts off. It's amazing practical effects on that. Again, like any other movie, it would just be about the traps, people getting killed by them. But they quickly figure out, like right at the start, like how to avoid the rooms with traps in them.
That's kind of wild.
They use their boots and they throw them in rooms to test them.
That's smart. If I was in that situation, I could see myself doing that, like boot strategy. I don't know about all the other stuff they did. That's beyond. I'd probably too dumb for that. But
They did some amazing survival shit. Most of it was because of the prison escape guy at the start. He like taught them a lot of stuff.
yeah, he started out because he was an escape artist. So I
He
guess he was there to
escaped
teach
6
them.
prisons.
That was his purpose.
His purpose was to teach him how to survive, pretty much, and then die right away.
Yeah, like he taught him the button thing or whatever.
Gets the saliva going.
Yes, sir. He's the one that got him moving too. They were supposed to just stay in the room they started at.
Oh yeah, that was like a neat little, I guess, joke.
A little twist right there. You did
Yeah,
all that for nothing.
yeah, because it's really cool the way they keep thinking they're like on the right track, and then a small twist will happen. At first, it's just about surviving the traps, and then they figure out that it's like prime numbers because each cube has like numbers on it.
Yeah, that's where I would have got lost right
They
away.
the only reason they survive this basically is because Leaven is like she must be like a math major in college or something.
Yeah, she was talking about how she was just a student, but god damn, she's like a fucking professor.
She was very smart. I don't know how she figured any of that out.
Especially towards the end with the math they were doing. I was like, what the fuck?
That's what I wanted to say, because like at first they figure out it's prime numbers. Those rooms are safe.
Yeah, that's simple
That's
enough.
simple, and they keep doing that, but then eventually it fails. And then they realize they're in a cube because one of the characters, Worth, is like he designed it. He designed it, but he didn't know. He said he didn't know what was going on inside, but then later on he reveals he knew people were inside it.
Yeah.
But anyways, so that's how they figure out like these numbers are coordinates actually. So then they start doing that, but then they realize the cube is twisting constantly. A lot
So
of
those moments when it like shake the screen like that, like when they were standing there and like shook a little bit, that's because their cube moved.
yeah, there's constant like shaking and thunder sounds, and yeah, that's the cube moving.
But okay, makes sense then.
And did you get that earlier on there's like a room that's the 27th coordinate, but it's a 26 by 26 cube.
Oh, because that was the one that was like outside the right.
Yeah, it's the
No.
bridge. It's the one that so there's like one cube that sticks out from the rest, and that's like the bridge to escape. And they were
That's
already there before.
so that's when they got like they were supposed to just be in to get out.
The room they started in was, I think, one away from the bridge.
Yeah, it was.
And
It
then
was
the
a
bridge itself, they were already in, but it was inside the cube because it was shifting constantly.
Like you said, this movie is very driven on the characters because they do develop through this film because, I mean, they're going through what everyone would go through in this situation. There's no food, no water, you can't really rest. You're trapped. People you don't know, they start kind of going insane. Some of them at least do.
Yeah, at the very start, you have 5 people.
They all have like roles.
Yeah, there's basically a doctor, a female doctor, a cop.
A
The
student.
Worth
A
is like,
genius.
yeah, there's a math student, and then Worth is just like kind of useless, kind of just sitting there. But you find out he's the one who built the cube, so he's like an architect, I
He's
guess.
like the one who actually knows what they're in.
Yeah, and then
And
there's the prison escape guy, but he dies pretty much right away. But then
and then
later on,
yeah, they meet. I
they
don't know
meet
his name.
Kazam,
Kazam, that's right, his name was.
and he has some sort of mental disability.
Autistic.
Okay, and because he's like constantly fiddling with his hands and he's freaking out, he's saying things out loud. He doesn't like the color red,
Yeah.
so he's kind of just like, I don't want to. He's kind of a deadweight to them. At least that's how the rest of them kind of feel. But the doctor's like, we're all humans. We're keeping him with us. There's a super tense moment with where he's trying not to say anything because there's a room activated by sound.
Yup, yeah. And they were like, let's just leave him.
Yeah, they wanted to leave him behind, which is honestly in that situation, it's like,
I was gonna say you remember I said I agree.
yeah,
That's
all,
fucked.
all of them were like that except for the doctor. She was like, no, we're bringing him with.
Good, because he had a purpose, just like everyone.
Yep, that pays off later because he's actually
Everyone there had a purpose.
Everyone had a purpose in the end, and his was he was like a super genius because they find out they have to like calculate the powers of these triple digit numbers, I guess.
I got a little lost there. I was like, this math is beyond me.
Yeah, because they're figuring out like
I'm good at math.
It's like specifically like 3D coordinates, protrusions. Is that what they're called? I don't remember.
I don't know. That's where I was like, how the fuck are they pulling this out of their ass?
Basically, it's like insane math no one could solve, but then he speaks up because he has I guess he's just really smart. And then that's how they pretty much escape thanks to him. The doctor basically, like, she took care of the guy, Kazam. And then also she, like, had this government conspiracy. She thought the government built this cube, and she, like, distrusted the system, aka also Quentin because he's a cop.
That's just insanity. What was the cop's purpose? Just to be like the enforcer?
The cop really took charge at the start. Like, this guy's gonna pull them through this. He's the leader. He made all the good decisions.
They did a good job with like the character development because in the start I was like, this dude's the man, and by the end I'm like, this dude's insane.
I think he literally loses his mind. I mean, even at the start, you get some hints that he's kind of not right. He's abusive. He smacks Holloway, the doctor, across the face.
Shit out of her.
And then she says, "You hit your kids like that too." And he's like, kind of goes quiet. So I think he was like an abusive dad, and
that broke him too.
That was a moment where he got real mad.
Because then, like, when they were trying to like see the outside of the cube, they held up the doctor by the rope.
Yeah.
And he had a chance to save her, and he just fucked her over, dropped her, killed her.
And she saw it too, and she's like, "Damn it." Because that was right after she said, like, "You hate your kids, don't you? You're an angry man." And ever since that point on, he gets further and further into just insanity.
Yeah, he lost his mind.
Yeah, but he also, like, because earlier he was like hitting on Leaven, the college girl.
He was about to, dude. He just like went insane. Like, he got like angry. He got horny.
But he was always like that, though. I'm saying, like, even before he kind of lost his mind. I think he was just a bad person.
He was. You're right. We were talking about that. I was like, is he hitting on at high school?
I think she's in college. She has to be with the kind of math she knows.
I would say that math, she's a fucking master student.
But yeah, he's like really hitting on her hard, and it's just kind of a creepy relationship. And then Holloway also mentions that. He's like, "You're into younger girls," and
yeah, he tried to rape her. Yes, right?
Yeah, he was getting real. He was getting real touchy at one point. The sound design's really good because there's like scenes where like there's this creepy like screeching music or whatever.
Yeah.
And like there's you hear the cube moving around, and once you like see the outside, it's all dark. It's kind of a creepy environment.
It is. This is the setting, the cubes with like the different colors and the weird designs.
The set design's incredible. All those cube rooms look really cool. They have like these cool looking tiles. They're all different colors, and it's really satisfying whenever they open those doors.
Yeah, they like turn it and pull it and drop it.
It's just, it looks so good, and the sound design's great.
Sounds like the Star Wars doors.
It does, yeah. I guess we should just say what happens in the end.
Yeah.
They ditch Quentin.
Yeah, they were like, this dude's a fucking maniac, and I thought he died.
He drops him through the floor, and he like hits his head, and he's like bleeding out in the ground.
He's dead.
Worth is like bleeding out half the time because Quentin keeps beating the shit out of him.
He's throwing them in rooms to test if they're good.
Yeah. So by the end, like, Worth is just torn to pieces, just a bloody mess.
Yeah, he went from like cool hero to fucking absolute psychopath.
Yeah, Quentin did.
He went from like my favorite character to least favorite pretty fast.
I think that's the whole point. And it worked pretty well.
Yeah, because then like my least favorite character is a guy who did nothing, because I just thought he was pointless, and he kind of became my favorite.
But that's like the final trio is Leaven, Worth, and Kazam. So they finally reach like the end. They're just waiting for the cube to turn one more time, and they're at the bridge. And they like open it up, and they see sunlight coming through.
Yeah, it's glory. But then
you're like, we did it. But then Worth is like giving up on life. I mean, the whole time he really says like he has nothing. He doesn't have a girlfriend. He doesn't have kids. He's just kind of worthless.
What did the girl say to him?
The girl was saying, I guess his whole point, Worth's point, was like outside, it's just human stupidity. He'd rather just be in the cube and kind of
die.
But Worth is like, I'm okay with a world with stupidity. I can live with that. Basically, like, she has stuff to live for. He doesn't. She sees the bright side and, like, she wants to escape. And Worth is just kind of giving up. She was like, come with me. Just let's escape this freaking cube. They seem to kind of have a relationship at the end.
That's what I thought. I was kind of where I was getting. Maybe friends.
Maybe friends. But then Quentin stabs her in the chest and she dies.
Yeah, where the fuck did he come from? How the hell did he get there?
How did they not hear the door open?
How did he get there? Like, how?
I guess he could have heard them. Because also, like, at one point they lose Kazam. And they can hear him, like, screaming, like, 2 rooms away. So obviously the cube doesn't shift that far away. So, I don't know. It's not totally outrageous, but it's kind of a stretch.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought, like, an alien killed her. I was like, holy shit, it is aliens.
That would have been fucking stupid.
And it was actually him.
It was Quentin. He's full blown crazy. His eyes are like, he's got like blood all over him, and his eyes are crazy.
He looks like a rabid animal at that point.
He does. He just wants to kill everyone.
What did he stab her with? Was that like the handle to the doors?
Yep. He tore a handle off a door and killed her with it.
Fuck, did he have the strength to do that?
I don't know. I really don't know. The ending isn't my favorite. It's really weird. Because then he also kills Worth. He stabs both of them.
Was he gonna kill what's his name too?
He's gonna kill Kazam, but then he just escapes out onto the bridge. And as Quentin's like reaching out for him to grab him, Worth gets back up, grabs Quentin by the leg, and holds him in place.
And he just gets smeared on the wall.
Yeah, the cube shifts and Quentin gets smeared. And then Kazam he leaves. He's the final survivor. And he walks out into the light, and it's just...
I wanted to see what the fucking shit looked like.
No, that's perfect. It's the perfect ending.
I want to see.
It's just like the Truman Show. He escapes his little world. You don't know what's on the outside. Doesn't matter. It was about escaping. And he did it. Imagine how stupid it would have been if he walked out into like a government control room. Yeah, you did it. You're the best.
He shakes his hand.
Gives him a medal. He gets his fuck.
He gets a fuck? Nice.
What did he want the whole time? They promised
gumdrops.
Yeah, gumdrops. He's gonna get his 27 bags of gumdrops for solving all those men.
27 bags of gumdrops. This is a series though, isn't there? Is there another?
There's, I think, 2 more movies, but they suck ass, and I think they have nothing to do with this one. I think it's just like More like
This
Saw.
seems like a movie that should just be a standalone.
Exactly. I really like this movie just on its
Like
own.
literally the way it ended, it was just like it's over.
Exactly. No one wants to see. I hope what they didn't do, and they might have, because people really don't like the sequel. I hope they don't show who's behind this and the outside world.
Gotta ruin your shit.
Gotta ruin the mystery and the intrigue. I guess the only other thing I'll say is it's kind of like Reservoir Dogs for me, which is a weird comparison, but the characters are like really interesting to me, and they all like contrast each other and just work with each other, and they develop through the movie. I really like these character driven movies, I'm starting to realize.
Is this a low budget film?
Let's find out.
Like sometimes I'll just laugh at like just I don't want to say the acting, but it's how some of the shit was like delivered. It's just kind of funny.
Oh really? I thought the acting was
I
amazing.
didn't think it was bad. I didn't think it was bad, but sometimes it was...
All of these actors I've never heard of before, but in my opinion, they all do amazing jobs.
Delivery, I felt like just
Yeah, there's some funny lines in there. Yeah, the acting and the dialogue for the most part's phenomenal. I mean, it's like Quentin Tarantino levels. Budget of $350,000. And
That's not big at all.
I mean, it's possible. I guarantee what they did for the set, they built one cube and then they just changed the colors.
Change the colors, definitely.
So that's probably all their budget right there. You reminded me of something when you said the budget. The CGI is really bad.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like when they went into the room, the blue where they had to be quiet and the spikes came out, they looked like shit.
It looked really bad. And like in the beginning, when the first guy dies, there's like blood dripping off the wire.
It looked bad.
But
like when his head fell apart.
Yeah, it was definitely for that time period very common.
Yeah, it's more than anything, it's just outdated.
Yeah, but luckily it's very little. Like it's just the few traps they run into.
Plastered on your fucking screen.
Yeah, George Lucas. This movie sticks with you. I've been thinking of this movie since the first time I saw it.
I really like the idea. Like you said, it's just a better Saw.
It's a smarter Saw with actual characters.
And like we always, I know it's not a Saw review, but like Saw just like I feel like part of Saw is to just show off the way people die. Like people could have died in ways in this film, but they died more because they were from trying to survive rather than like one of the gimmicks that the cubes have. Because only, like you said, only 2 people actually died from like a cube trap.
Yeah, it's like barely about the traps.
And then everyone else died because of betrayal and fucking people going insane.
Yeah.
Survival, I guess.
Yeah.
Like you said, the ending was... I don't know how that dude got back in that room. I just don't really understand that. But it's not a big issue. It was a cool movie. I like the idea. I'd give it a B+.
I really like this movie. This is probably one of my top horror movies. Maybe the top, but again, I don't know if I'd call it horror either. So
I mean, when I picture horror, I just picture like the shitty horror movies that come on now, just jump scares everywhere.
Exactly. When you see a movie called Cube and it's horror and you get the concept, like there's traps in each room, you're like, oh my god, you can like kind of see the movie in your head already.
Yeah.
But this one's done so much better. Like they really tried, it felt like. So all that to say, I really like it. This might be too high of a score, but it's always stuck with me, so I give it a 9 out of 10.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna guess I gave like a 76.
Fuck off.
What do you mean?
You're fucking looking at it.
76.
That's crazy, dude.
That's a solid.
76? Yeah, I'd say that's
good.
That's about right. I think it should be easy to find some bad ones. Yeah, the critics really did.
Quote not available.
A lot of these people got it removed. Stupid movie pretending to be smart. The characters are shallow and their only personalities are their old jobs. The movie seems like it represents nothing at all apart from big booby trap box. Could have been set in a corn maze and been the exact same film. Stupid. Characters are shallow. Man, that's the whole reason I like the movie is because I thought they were really deep, but okay.
I don't understand the corn maze part of this.
Could have taken place in a corn... Yeah, how the fuck would that work? Actually, that is a movie. That's literally a movie. What's it fucking called?
Probably sucks. Don't care.
Oof. The plot is terrific and was executed well, only for it to be held back by super poor acting, which made it hard to watch.
I didn't think it was terrible acting. There were moments where it was the way it was like put together, like a line to be said and like cut to someone else. It's like the facial expressions and the way it's delivered.
That's what I would say. I would say the facial expressions is like, because the cop, sometimes he opens his eyes real wide. It's like, what are you staring at, man?
Just the way it's like kind of like edited. It's just kind of weird at times.
Yeah, but
I don't think they were bad actors. Just the way like lines were delivered and the way they would like kind of piece it together. I was just like, what the.
The way they yelled at each other was pretty intense. Like, they'd really get up at each other's faces and just rip them to shreds. I thought it was pretty damn good.
Yeah, the cops especially.
Yeah. God-awful acting. No logic to how the characters handle themselves. He says the math is all wrong.
The math was kind of crazy.
There's no way it was wrong, though. I mean, I don't know because I suck at math, but they had to have studied up on their shit.
I'm not saying it was wrong. Yeah, like that, but I don't think there's no way they would figure that shit out.
Yeah, I think
no way.
She hops to the conclusion that they're prime numbers like really quick.
Like she just like pulls it out of her ass, like, and it just works. And it's like, dude, I would be sitting there for like fucking 3 months before I'd even think about half that shit.
I can understand how like she figures out like once they're in the cube and she realizes they're like coordinates, that I can kind of see. But just like the first part where she's like, oh, prime numbers, of course. That felt kind of like, okay. Every trap in every identical room has an effect on one small area in the center of the room, yet the characters stroll exactly into that spot. Well, a lot of them had like sensors and stuff, so I think it was designed so that once you step into the room, it like aims at you. I don't know. Maybe he's right. Maybe it is easily avoidable. I don't know. Incredibly irritating movie I ended up sitting through just to see how it ended. Wasn't worth it. It kind of seems like he was looking at the traps part of it, which was literally the weakest component.
Yeah, because it barely is on it.
Once they figure out the traps, it's literally not a factor anymore. Like, ever.
No, the movie's
they
more
never run into a trap again.
The movie's more based on them trying to work together.
Like, there might as well not have even been traps. I mean, they would have died eventually from either killing each other or from dehydration.
Really well done, thorough before side slot.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
He
literally stroked out and then just hit enter.
They gave it 4 stars.
I agree with this guy. This is the best review.
Hit it right on the nose.
Yeah. What a way with words.
He just fucking fell asleep halfway.
He fell asleep while typing his comment.
On the keyboard.